Hello, welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. So I have two decks for you for this reading. Wisdom of the Oracle, our reliable, and the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. So this deck I really have not used that much, but it really called out to me today. And sometimes I feel like decks want to communicate something. They have a specific message. They feel inclined to say something right now. And so I want to honor that because every divination tool that I use is a collaborator, and I want to honor that. I want to celebrate that. I want to bring different energies into the readings. Obviously, I'm the reader, I'm interpreting, but each deck has its own flavor. And so I want to honor that. And I think that's exciting. So, all right, we're going to close our eyes and check in and just make sure that we're in the right headspace. Oscar's coming to say hi. He's probably right out of frame, but he loves being involved in these readings. He's a miniature dachshund, and he's just the cutest little thing. But he never wants to come into frame, so he wants to be a silent supporter in this reading. Fun fact, when I did my very first tarot event that was bananas busy, I was quite overwhelmed, and it was not expected. He was with me, and he was supposed to be like I don't know how else to say it. He was supposed to be like a silly prop. And he was dressed up like a swami. Yes, I dressed up my miniature dachshund like a swami. He did not like it, but he loved being with me and he loved the attention. And it just turned into this thing where he was by my side for hours and hours while I was reading tarot at this beautiful event. And I was overwhelmed with gratitude and just surprised. And it was very, very I don't know. It was like the beginning of me realizing that I was going to be doing this to help people in a way that was more public, as opposed to just pulling cards for myself in my own space. So that event was a big turning point for me, and he was there with me for that. And so sometimes I think when I'm reading for these videos, he wants to come in and be like, "Hi, I'm here. I'm your support system," because he's my little buddy. So that's what having a familiar is all about, right? All right, let's tap in and let's start to pull some tarot. All right, so we're going to go with the Oracle deck first. Go the distance. This has been a long journey. Are you tired yet? I am. You're like, I don't know what comes next, but I'm tired. That's what I'm feeling. Regeneration. Okay, so there is a second chance here. Beautiful, beautiful beginning that is sprouting out of something that we thought was dead. So I really think this is about resurrected hope about something. This could be a career. This could be a relationship. This could be an application for a job that you put in for. This could be an application for a house that you put in for that you don't think you got it. And then all of a sudden you get a second chance, right? That beautiful kind of glitch fixing moment where you get to go back in time and fix something or tweak something, and you're given grace to allow for that. So that's the energy behind what I'm getting here. All right. This is talking about, again, to step back and go a little esoteric with this. This is about the flexibility of time. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit because this has been plaguing me. You can have intuitive downloads about something. You can think something is happening in a certain time frame and then it doesn't, and you think you're wrong, and then 20 months later what you thought was true does come through. But it took 20 months, right? I'm just making up a number at this point. But it's so far into the future, you're not even thinking about it anymore, and you were right. But you just saw it ahead of time. Time is flexible. Time is bendable that way. Maybe you were thinking this would happen years ago, and now it's happening now. I think at this time, the universe at large is kind of teaching us that time is fluid. It is bendable. It's flexible. We can't just look at things like our brains do. We know that time isn't linear anymore. We're at that point. We understand that. But how do you explain that to your brain that still has the limitations built into it? It's hard. It's definitely hard. But, this is, to me, this is feeling like there are things being resurrected that you just moved forward past because nothing was happening with them. And now all of a sudden things are happening and it's going to actually go the distance. It's going to get to the place where you thought it was. Imagine applying for a job or a house and months go by. You kind of just let it go, right? I'm sensing that we're in this collective where you're going to get a call back for a job that you forgot you applied for. You're going to get a call from the landlord saying, hey, this house is now available. Do you want it? And you're like, oh my gosh, yes. This is my second chance, right? The relationship that you thought the person ghosted you. All of a sudden they come out of the blue and they're like, hi, let's build a life together. And you're like, whoa. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it first, but whoa. That's exciting, right? So that's the energy that I am sensing here with this particular reading. And this is blessed. Again, there's another separate card in this deck that also says fated, but I am feeling blessed and fated with this one card. That this, whatever this is that's resurging for you, this is a blessed thing. You can trust it. It's not a trick. It's not another thing that will disappoint you. This is something that is coming in that is truly, truly going to work in your favor. To the sea. That card always reminds me of the subconscious because it's got that watery aspect to it. She's in the boat. The subconscious is normally represented as something watery just because it's very flowy, it's very fluid. There's a lot of flexibility with that as well, and even how we interpret the subconscious. So let me clarify that to the sea card. No place like home. Oh. I feel like there is some sort of beautiful coming together after feeling left out in the cold, feeling just separated from the person that you love, separated from the place that you love. This could be something like you're going back to a place that felt like home to you. You know what I mean? There's so many different variations of how this could come out. But this card, it breaks my heart every time I see it. But that it came out with this home card. Something beautiful is coming back. Something beautiful is coming back in that I think is for the divine and highest good for everybody. Again, if this is a relationship, it's going to be good for both people. If it is moving into a house that you wanted, it's a better situation for the landlord and the new tenant. You know, everything is stepping up with this flexible kind of rearranging of elements. And I think that's beautiful. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for this collective. So, all right. Let's pull on this situation. Just going to let some cards jump out at me. And I'm going to, oh, that's too many. I can't do that, buddy. Sometimes, 2 or 3 come out, you're okay. But like 3 to 5 cards popping out at once, I'm like, I'm not that good. I am not that good. All right. Okay. This feels like sometimes the Temperance card reminds me of the Justice card. And the Justice card is like a setting right of things. And then I come into this 6 of Pentacles. It's the 6 of discs with this particular deck, but it's the 6 of Pentacles. It's a balance. It's a reciprocity. It's kind of like a cosmic rebalancing of that big scale, And Temperance is all about balance. So I think that there is, and again, there's water here. She's putting water into the other cup. So I think that this could be something like someone who wasn't giving in a relationship is now giving. They're pouring into the other cup. They're offering the reciprocity that was necessary to move things forward. It's finally happening. This is someone giving out those discs, those pentacles. This is, again, it's a cosmic rebalance. Maybe this is 2 people coming together that the universe is like, okay, this was always meant to happen. Everything went a little wonky, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. The Hangman. So again, sometimes a long pause is necessary for a new perspective, or maybe you're going to get a new perspective. Once this happens, Someone's coming in to tell you all the things that they didn't before. You are going to get their perspective. The time apart gave them perspective, right? This is a card of how can I look at this situation differently? Well, you're going to get to, because someone's going to bring you the story, bring you the whole story. All right. The fluidity of time, man. Two of Wands. Prince of Swords. For this Prince of Swords, I'm feeling called to read from this lovely book. It's very, very big. All right. Prince of Swords. All right. Rapid expansion. This prince is a spirited and full of action person who enjoys a healthy debate or exchange of ideas. When this archetype uses their innovation and powers for good, they can change the world. Swords are the most analytical suite, but here there's a tendency to charge in without thinking issues through. They can be more focused on the outcome than on the process, which can be a handicap in the long run. Critical analysis and targeted action are at your disposal. Focus your ambition and drive on specific goals. In relationship dynamics, an intelligently stimulating partner may be keeping you preoccupied. Diligent in pursuing what they desire, this archetype may become aloof, self-focused, or judgmental of others when overwhelmed or underappreciated. Mercurial in nature, they can disappear when bored, and if you're lucky enough to capture their mind, their heart will follow. In professional life, your mental acumen is on point. Solutions may come easily at this time. Fact find before processing any major decisions. Even if your mindset, a forward-thinking individual with novel concepts may provide the breakthrough that you need. So again, that's just an example of how multi-layered one card is, giving you all of those versions of what this could possibly mean. I think it's very rich in nature that you can come to a reading thinking this is a love reading, and then you get love messages, but you also get a really needed message about your career right in there. I think if you ask Spirit for efficiency, they will give it to you. I love efficiency. Again, being a Virgo sun sign, it's my favorite thing ever. Killing two birds with one stone. Not that I like to kill birds, but you get my point. I like to be efficient. I like to say, I want to know this and I want to know this. I want to know the full snapshot of my life. That card represents it in this reading, I think. So there's a lot going on here. I think it's less about, again, there was a bit of a negative message, if I'm being honest, about the love and relationship reading with this card. I think when coupled with the Two of Wands, because that's what came out with it, there is, again, this element of balance. That person kind of hovering that globe in their hands with the crosses. There's definitely a looking forward, but there's like a decision. There's analytical things happening. There's a lot moving around mentally. How to proceed forward. What do I do? Think this through. Don't charge in and be this very wishy-washy person, right? Think it through fully. Let's go into this deeper. Okay. 10 of Cups. The Tower. 5 of Discs. This really feels like a bit of a love reading to me, if I'm being honest. This is just your happy fulfillment life card. I mean, this is, if you get this card, you're stepping into something special. Now, the 5 of Discs. There is that scarcity, there's that lack. You can see the coins or the discs that are being put in there kind of disappearing. So it feels like something was in vain. Maybe this was a first try at something, and it just feels like all this love and energy that you poured into the situation, it just like didn't go anywhere, you know? But I think that's changing. So the Tower is this rapid change in the direction of something that has so much feeling potential in it, so much love. So again, I think there are moments in our life where we need to pause after something great happens because we need to fully integrate it into ourselves. This is why you meet that amazing person and then they ghost you and then they come back. Both of you potentially have needed to integrate the parts of yourselves that were just still disjointed when you first met. Now things are fully fleshed out for the both of you and you can come together. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting here. And again, 10 of Cups, this is fulfillment, such deep fulfillment. This could actually speak to something to do with your work, that you put in all this time and effort, you went to school, you got a degree, and you weren't getting anywhere. And finally something opens up, boom, change. Hey, that amazing job you applied for right out of college, guess what? It's available. Do you still want it? It's yours. That's this energy. That's so exciting. It's kind of like a surprise. It's like we're all getting a surprise. I have to admit, surprises weren't always the best thing for me because the people that were giving them in the past didn't really fully understand or resonate with me or what I really truly valued. And so gifting was a stressful thing for me. Receiving was a stressful thing for me. And doing that inner work about how do I heal this? And how do I really only put myself in situations where the people really know me? When they buy me a gift, or if it's appropriate to buy me a gift, they buy me something that has real value for me. And it's kind of this running joke, right? You never buy your wife a vacuum, or you never buy your husband a vacuum. That's like degrading. And who wants that as a gift? Maybe they love cleaning and that's like the best gift you could ever give them. Or they've always wanted this fancy, expensive Dyson pet cleaning vacuum that has 20 attachments and they can use it to clean the house because you've got 4 dogs, right? It's special. It means something and it's a true gift. I mean, like Dyson vacuums are really freaking expensive. So it's like, whatever that is, it's this gift, this special thing, this is tailored to you. It's something that you previously put time and energy into and it just didn't go anywhere. And there was this sense of loss. That 5 of Pentacles, like, well, did all this for nothing, did all this for nothing, got left out in the cold anyway. I mean, that card is so powerful. It's so sad. Every time I get it in a reading, I'm just like, oh, sorry. Keep smacking the microphone. I keep forgetting it's there, and yeah. All right, let's get 2 more. Okay, 3 more. Oh my goodness. Nope, we're not taking 4. I'm good. I'm not that good. 2 more. Please and thank you. So you thought this was the 8 of Swords, or because you were in a holding pattern, it was 8 of Swords. There was this thought that you were trapped. This person is clearly, trapped. But the swords are mental. This is a mental trap. But after a mental trap, you're kind of now coming into this time where there's abundance. You're still potentially a little bit unsure of it because, again, the prince he's not a knight, he's not a queen, he's not a king yet. He's on his way. So an opportunity that just never came into anything is finally moving into something. It might not be moving as fast as you would want, but it is moving. It depends. I'm getting kind of 2 versions of this. Something where, boom, something's going to hit you, like with that tower energy where it's like, boom, something changes. But that doesn't mean that the thing itself won't still take time to be built upon. I mean, there's a lot of work involved if you now need to relocate because that house you want comes available. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of practical like steps to just do. First we do this, then we do this, then we do. It's a process. So whatever this is, it's going to lead to a process, but a process that leads you to that 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. I always say one more and then I like grab 20 more. I'm the worst. Magician. All right, so you are, or this situation is, leveraging strategy and action. Ooh. 7, 7. 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands. So there's two things happening here. There's mental energy and there's like physical in the world action energy. So again, the 7 of Swords card, so many people think that this is like, they only coin this as a very negative kind of card. But again, I often see it as a strategy card. You're holding things behind your back and you're not playing your cards until it's time. Until it's time. And then when it's time, you're going to do something about it. Because things have aligned. Timing has finally aligned for you for this. That's, I think, the point. The timing was not aligned. It was aligned for the first part of the journey, but not for the completion or the closing of the cycle of the journey. And I think that's where we're at. We're stepping into that completion phase to actually come into that thing that we were really, really wanting and put a lot of energy into previously. All right, 2 more from this deck, and then we're going to wrap up. Fork in the road. Anything else with that fork in the road card that wants to say hello? By the book. All right, I'm going to clarify that there. Okay. So what I'm sensing with this particular set of cards in this order, in the order that they're being pulled, the fork in the road is sort of like you're going on the road. I'm trying to get this to focus. You're going on the road and you're trying to pick which direction to go. And you're like, okay, let's go straight. That makes the most sense, right? Right? Going straight, going by the book, following the road signs. That makes the most sense, right? Not in this case. So again, I'm getting less about chaos and conflict, a bit of chaos, but only chaos because the fork in the road is, you know, kind of saying you can go by the book. That's fine if you want, but it's actually good to have a little chaos in there too. So I'm being reminded of there is a movie. It's called Big Fish. If you've ever seen it, it's a very whimsical, very sweet movie. And his father is telling him these tales of his life, and they're just like so outlandish, he doesn't really believe them. And you're kind of left to wonder what really is actually happening in this story. You don't ever fully know. It's kind of left up to you to choose. Do I choose whimsy or do I choose a man that was telling a tall tale? It's up to you. And it's really beautifully done. It's quirky, it's weird, and his dad is on this path and he can go down the straight path or he can go off on like a little side quest, and he decides to go off on a side quest, and there's all these amazing things that happen to him, and then he comes back onto the main road, and I think he was like with somebody, and this person is like, hey, you're back, you know, like, and it had only been 20 minutes for this guy who went the straight path, and his dad went off on an adventure and he was like gone for like years or something like that. It just like the time did not measure up properly, and it was just a really beautiful explanation visually of what I'm talking about here. This is talking about that side quest that we went on, or that we were called to go on, or that we're called to go on now. Again, only you can decide where you're at in your path. If you're like, oh God, all I've been doing was going on side quests. I'm like, okay, well, it took you to where you needed to go, and you ended up back on the road again. It's okay. You know, you're still on your path. This can also mean like you are where you're supposed to be. You are on your path, but you went on your side quest. That's okay. Kind of like someone that I met recently, she's going back to school again, and it's like her 3rd time. She's like, I'm going to finish this degree. I had so many times when life got in the way, and yet she's still doing it. And I think that's so exciting. It's that perseverance of like, this is going to happen. No matter what direction I get taken off on, I end up back on my path, back to where I need to go. I want to get this degree. This means a lot to me. Da da da. So that's the energy I'm getting here. Again, there's so much about a second chance, about something that is so blessed, something that you thought was dead. Because again, look at this tree. This tree looks like it's a goner, but there's this kind of blue iridescent and green iridescent light, and even like what looks like orange light coming up from the bottom, like lighting the tree up from the inside to regenerate itself. That's where we're at. That's you. You are the tree. You are regenerating. A situation is regenerating in your life, but that's coming as a result of you being ready for that. Okay. There are times when we are stuck in a mindset of lack and we can't even allow a blessing in because we're so cranky pants. Okay. Yes, on this channel, I say things like cranky pants, but it's true. Like if you're in that mindset, you're not going to see your way to this, or even if this comes your way, you're going to be so untrusting of it that it can't even get anywhere near you. But this is saying it's okay to trust this. So I hope this reading had value for you. I really want to know in the comments, what are these stories? Because this is getting juicy. The more we go into this, like the more readings I do, and I get to hear more of these stories of the collective, I resonate with a lot of these. But again, they're not all everybody's story, or they match up differently at different times. But this particular story is so exciting to me. I can't wait to hear about your side quests. I can't wait to see and hear, like, what happened? What is this? It makes me excited. What is this? So until next time, everybody, have a beautiful day, and happy regeneration.